Welcome to day number 11. We are dealing with one powerful gem in 11 verse 2. Here's what it says in English. When pride comes, then comes dishonor, but with the humble is wisdom. You know, in all of this acquiring wisdom and inviting wisdom and understanding and seeking for wisdom and understanding, there's always a temptation to take that information and stick out your chest and say, I got it. And what Solomon is clearly saying here is when pride comes, then comes dishonor. But with the humble is wisdom. In other words, there seems to be partnership there between humility and wisdom. You know, think of so many different stories in Scripture where you see the opposite of humility and pride. And one great story that I actually really have enjoyed learning and reading, encountering, is in 2 Kings 26:16 through 23. King Uzziah, he became proud. And when he became proud, he was stricken with leprosy, dishonored and shamed. And what's so interesting about that story is that the leprosy started at the top of him, on his forehead, the high part of him, and right where pride tends to be birthed in our brain. It tells us that we are more than we really are, and there is no humility there. So a great story, again, 2 Kings 26:16 to 23. But I find this is a bit interesting. As I was reading through this, I actually went just a little bit of a search on the issue of what kind of humility we were talking about. And the word that's used here is a very rare word. In fact, it's only used one other time in all of Scripture. And I actually want this to be a parallel verse that I want you to consider as you're thinking about this gem of wisdom that we find in Proverbs 11:2. Like I said, the only other time we find the word that's used here for humility is in, I believe it is, yes, it is in Micah chapter 6, verse 8. What a beautiful and amazing verse this is. I think it all puts it all together. It says this: He has told you, O man, what is good, and what does Jehovah require of you, but to do justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with your God. Different form, same root. The only time this root is used is in Proverbs 11:2 for this kind of humility, and in Micah chapter 6, verse 8. It's to me a call. It's a true call that there really is only one way that we can walk with the Creator of the universe, and that is in humility. You know, He gave Solomon more than what he asked for. And what he asked for was a hearing heart, and he gave him wisdom and understanding. And it's up to Solomon to decide what to do with that. And it's going to be up to you to decide what to do with it. But clearly, it says this: when pride comes, then comes dishonor. But with the humble is wisdom. So be sure that as you're learning, you continue to remember where this all comes from, who is the author of all of this wisdom, and who is the one who grants it to you and to me, but the one who is in his presence. There is no pride. It just cannot exist. And yet we want to stay in his presence. That's where we get to listen. That's where we're quiet. That's where we bend our knee and bow our hearts and hear these gems and hopefully apply them into our lives. Remember, keep digging. This is Proverb Pearls, and I am your friend and host, Keith Johnson.